These are the kind of losses that come back to haunt you later on. The New York Knicks allowed the Indiana Pacers to just play their game, just run up and down the court without any resistance. That incredible defense that the New York Knicks had played for the last 10 games, the number one rated defense in the entire NBA for the past 10 games, completely vanished tonight. They allowed the Pacers to do whatever they wanted. Yes, the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers without Miles Turner. This Pacers that are the worst team in the Eastern Conference. They have the worst record. However, of late, they have a 500 record, I think, in the past 14 games or so. And maybe now it's over 500. So they've been playing better of late. They made a trade for Zubac from the Clippers, but he didn't play tonight. Jay Huff played tonight. And they still were able to just basically outrun the Knicks on at MSG. And it's not like the Knicks, the offense was faltering. No. The Knicks, in overtime, including overtime, put up 134 points tonight and lost by 3. This is, I hope this loss haunts these players for a while. Sometimes a good haunting is what's needed. Let's go. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. Follow me on social media. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments if you're watching this later on. Let's get going. Here we go. New York Knicks lost 137-134. And this game looked like it was totally lost in overtime. The Knicks could do nothing. They were outscored at one point, I think 9-0. I think at one point. Definitely 7-0. And then they somehow made a couple of threes, made this game almost within reach. They had no business even being near possibly pulling this game out in overtime. But it was in regulation where the Knicks really let go of the reins. They were dominated in that final stretch, in that final fourth quarter, where the New York Knicks were outscored 31-24 in that fourth quarter. Knicks could do nothing right. They could get rebounds, but they couldn't even hit their free throws. They missed 2 free throws. Brunson missed a free throw, and Josh Hart missed a free throw. This game went to overtime. That means the Knicks could have won this game if just one of those 2 players hits their free throws. Knicks looked tired. They look old. They looked like, defensively. Offensively, they were on it. Offensively, they came through tonight. That is for sure. The Knicks shot 50% from the field. Three-point shot was non-existent there tonight. They only shot 30% from the field, but they shot from the three-point line. From the field, they shot 50%, though. Points in the paint, they dominated 60-48. Second chance points, they won that 13-10. Fast break points, even fast break points against the high-octane, fast-paced Indiana Pacers. The Knicks outpaced them 19-9. But it came down to the bench. The Knicks bench shit themselves. Landry Shamet started tonight in place of OG Anunoby. So it required the others to give us some numbers from the bench. And the New York Knicks bench was outscored by 25 points tonight, 43-18. And that was game. 8 Indiana Pacers scored in double figures, where not a single non-starter gave you double figures for the Knicks. But it all comes down to the defense, and it comes down to some interesting rotation choices by Coach Brown late in the game. My main question is, when the game was hanging in the balance, Any team it gets the team that strings 2 to 3 stops in a row wins, like could win the game late in the last 2 minutes of the game. And Mo Diawara, who played an outstanding game against Jaylen Brown, who is better than any player on the Pacers right now. Mo Diawara played a fantastic defense against him in the previous game. He wasn't in there late, and guess who it was against Josh Hart? The guy that Mo patterns his game after, Pascal Siakam, ate up Josh Hart. Just kept scoring on him. He didn't have the size to deal with Pascal Siakam, the savvy type of play, the length. But you throw Mo Diawara on him, who knows what happens? Why wasn't Mo in instead of Josh? This fidelity is the right word, to Josh Hart has to fucking end. Too often it costs us games. And too often we win in spite of him, even though the last game he was fantastic. But he's not a consistent player. He doesn't give you that every night. That's why look, Josh Hart on some nights is the best player on the court. But that's some nights. That's like 1 out of 4 or 5 nights. The rest of the time, he's just, a guy who gives you something, and then the other couple nights, he's terrible. Now, I'm not saying he was terrible tonight, but in certain matchup situations, why have him in there? Or have Siakam, have Diawara in there to face his role model. I mean, what better moment would that have been? Right there, game on the line, fourth quarter. These teams have been battling up and down all night long. Wouldn't it have been great to have had Mo Diawara there, facing him with his length, his ability to disrupt? No, instead it was little Josh Hart and Pascal, beep, boop, right over him, beep, boop. And they took the lead. But the Knicks were able to tie it because Karl Anthony Towns hit 2 monster clutch free throws right as regulation was ending. And the game went into overtime. But overtime was a ridiculous entity by that point. The Knicks were just had expended so much energy to keep up with these Pacers throughout the whole game. They really had nothing left. I think they were outscored 7 or 9-0 to begin the overtime. Overtime was only 5 minutes, and 23 points were scored in those 5 minutes. And 13 of them were scored by the Pacers, and they won 137-134. I'm highly disappointed in this because I'm in the headspace of let's win every fucking game. That's my headspace right now. Let's not give anybody any real estate in our minds, in the media, in the discourse, in anything. Just dominate. Are you the team that's going to the NBA Finals? Are you? If you are, then don't lose games like this to the worst team in the conference. Now, mind you, OKC has lost some games to some bad teams as well. But that's not the point. We got to worry about ourselves. Karl Anthony Towns fouls out. His frustration level with the disparity in the foul calling towards him as opposed to others, I think it's reached a boiling point. And he fouls out of this game. If he'd been in that, we could have really used him in that overtime. No Mitch tonight, ankle management. So it's one of those games. This is not a situation where we would face in the playoffs. So bear that in mind. In the playoffs, you have Mitch playing. But we're talking about the worst team in the East. The team with the worst record. So we should be able to. But no OG. Still no Deuce. But we had the debut of Jose Alvarado at MSG. You can't fuck with the genius coaches. Rick Carlisle's, the Spoelstras, those guys, they know what to do. They know what levers to pull. They know what aspects to motivate to get their players to defeat this team. Now, do I believe in a playoff series we're going to have a problem with anything? No, I don't. But in the regular season, it definitely matters. And when you're battling for seeding, now we're in third place now, right? Yeah. Aren't we in third place? I can't find it now. No. Oh, I had to reboot. I lost a lot of shit. Oh, well. We're in third place now. And with the Cleveland Cavaliers breathing down our necks, they're just one game behind us. They've won 9 out of the last 10. Well, whatever. And the worst part about this, guys, not to be such a downer so much, because ultimately I don't really think this means much, ultimately. But tomorrow night we play the Sixers. So now we went to OT against the team with the worst record in the East and lost at home. And now we're going to Philadelphia to play the Sixers on a back-to-back night before the All-Star break. We just should have taken care of business tonight. Really disappointing. Really disappointing. Shout out to the chat. We got Lex the Destroyer in the house. Thank you so much for joining me here tonight. We got Trapped in the 90s. Slow Runner 14. What's up, brother? Buzzer Beater. Haven't seen you in a long time. Unless you've been around, but I just haven't seen you in a while. D. Dot. What's up? Unacceptable loss. That's right. Jalen Brunson, hero ball, lost us the game. It's simple as that, D. Doc says. You know what? I'm not going to say he lost us the game because of that. But I can see totally why you mean that. Totally. We scored enough. It was the defense. The defense that really let us down tonight. We held the second best offense in the NBA for the entire season, the Celtics, to under 90 points 2 nights ago. And then tonight, we come in to the worst team in the East and allow them to score 134 points. and that includes, 134 points. But in overtime, they scored 13. So that's 121 points in regulation time. That's crazy. And we lit them up. We lit them up. But it wasn't enough. The bench let us down tonight, and I will show you exactly how. Here it is. The New York Knicks bench. Look at this. Hakporti, 7 points. Mo Diawara, 3 points. A minus 17. Game worst, minus 17, by the way. So maybe that explains why Brown was hesitant to have him in late. But you cannot judge a rook that way. You never know. They have moments where they dip and then they peak. You got to ride the line sometimes. And Mo could have given us a stop against Pascal where Hart couldn't. Even though Hart was a game high, plus 11. But that's when it comes down to pure game management. And I'm not saying don't have Hart on the floor at that time, but just get Diawara on the floor so that he's the one who's on Pascal Siakam. And maybe Hart is on, McConnell or Nemhard or somebody else. But this Knicks defense tonight was so ineffectual. Huckborty gave you 7 points, but I mean, I'll get into him later. I was highly disappointed in his performance tonight. Diawara, just 3 points. Clarkson, just 4 points in 12 and a half minutes. And Jose Alvarado in his debut, 18 minutes, a very unimpressive 1 of 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from the three-point line, 4 points for him. Did give you 5 assists, which is nice, but that was it. And then Tyler Kolek gets 5 seconds of play for some reason. But the bench gave you nada tonight. The bench gave you only 18 points. They were outscored by 25 in a game that had 39 lead changes, and it was tied 16 times. Your bench has to give you more than that. There's just no other way to look at it. Looking at the team comparisons here, the Knicks, they barely out-rebounded the Pacers 46-43. They ended up with 33 assists, but again, this game went to overtime. They out-assisted the Pacers by 3. The stocks category, only 4 steals and 4 blocks compared to 6 steals and 4 blocks for the Pacers. So the Knicks lost that battle. The turnover battle, they lost that one as well, but they did control the ball pretty decently, especially when we consider this game went into extra time. 12 turnovers for the Knicks, 11 for the Pacers. But the Pacers shot 51.5% from the field. The Knicks shot 50%. Really tight, so it was going to be decided either on the free throw line or at the three-point line, and it ended up being decided on the three-point line tonight. 40%. 40% for the Pacers to just 30% for the Knicks. So the Knicks shot 14 of 46 from the three-point line, and the Pacers shot 18 of 45. The Pacers made 4 additional three-point shots. That's 12 additional points from the three-point line that the Knicks were not able to make up anywhere else. And that is the story. Landry Shamet had a tremendous look. I got to say, it was late in the game. It was the last possession of regulation. The Knicks had the ball. They were down 2. Yeah, down 2. They were down 2. The play was called. They inbounded the ball, and immediately Shamet was breaking on the right side. Perfect pass to him, fed him. He caught it in stride. He was open behind the three-point line. A shot that he later hit in overtime. So he gets the ball in regulation time. He hits that shot. The Knicks win the game. Clanked it, but then Karl-Anthony Towns comes rushing in, grabs the rebound, goes up for the putback, gets fouled. Goes to the line. Pressure's on. We've seen Cat miss free throws late, but not tonight. He hits both, and the game goes to overtime. But Shamet could have ended the game there. Shamet ended up 4 of 11 from the three-point line, which is not, I mean, that's fine. That's an okay stat line, but not from him. When we have Towns only 1 of 6 from the three-point line. We have Mikal Bridges 2 of 6 from the three-point line. When we have Jose Alvarado and Clarkson combining for just 0 for 4 from the three-point line. And Jalen Brunson shooting a horrific 4 of 14. 14 three-point attempts might be the most that he's attempted this season. And he could only connect on 4 of them. That's 28.6%. That ain't going to cut it. But ultimately, it wasn't the offense that lost this game for the Knicks. It was the defense. It was the defense. Look at this. Look at the Pacers stat line here. As I said before, 8 players in double figures. They shot 51.5% from the field, 40% from the three-point line. Pascal Siakam was not a great three-point shooter. 3 of 10 for him. This guy, Mika Potter, who was a former Knick in Westchester. He plays nearly 29 minutes. He gives them 10 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. He hits 2 of 7 from the three-point line. But this Quentin Jackson, who's an annoying player for me for the Knicks, hits 4 of 6. And then Nembhard, 4 of 8. Jay Huff looks like a giant Fournier to me. He was 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Ben Shepherd, 10 points. All were scored, I believe, in the second quarter. I guess in the first half. Yeah, Ben Shepherd scored 10 points in the first half. Not a single point scored in the second half. But the thing about the Pacers is they'll just keep moving the ball to find other guys who will contribute. And then you get T.J. McConnell, 16 minutes. He's like the white Alvarado. He comes through, 6 of 9, 13 points. Doesn't attempt a 3-point shot. 3 assists for him. But Kobe Brown, he plays 19 minutes, a plus 13, the high man there. He was the high man for the game. But it was the pace that the Pacers played at that kept the Knicks just 1 or 2 steps behind. And they were constantly beating them on the fast break, in transition. Just a real bummer of a loss. Real bummer of a loss. Especially when you consider what's happening tomorrow. The Knicks play the Sixers, who are a legitimate playoff, team that you're going to have to deal with, possibly in the playoffs. Actually, where are they in the standings right now? They're in 6th seed. So the 3 seed plays the 6th seed. So there you go. So we would play the Sixers in the playoffs if nothing changed. And now we're tired. We used up so much energy to lose. These are the times where I wonder, is it sometimes better as a coach to just see the writing on the wall and be like, you know what, let's not try and get this win. I don't think we can get this win. We're being outscored, we're being outgunned. Look at the trend line right here. I mean, from the middle of the fourth, before we even got to the middle of the fourth quarter, the Knicks were playing from behind. They kept catching up, but then they kept falling behind, and then they were able to tie it at the very end of the fourth quarter because of the 2 free throws to Cat. And then no scoring, and then literally, you got you were down 11, you were down 9 in that overtime. At one point, down 9 in 5 minutes. You had nothing left. Do you think about the future? I guess not, because you have the All-Star break coming. So maybe that's the rationale there. But if the All-Star break wasn't coming and Mike Brown finds himself in this situation once again with a back-to-back, this is where you just fold it. You just say, okay, you guys got this game. Or go with some other guys that can give you something. You don't play. I mean, look at the minutes. Not a single Pacer over 37 minutes of play tonight. Knicks had 1, 2, 3 players with 40 minutes or more, and Mikal Bridges played nearly 43 minutes, and Jalen Brunson played nearly 42 minutes, and Josh Hart played 40.5 minutes. Cat would have played more if he didn't foul out. Landry Shamet plays nearly 38 minutes, probably the most of the season, which is probably why his shot wasn't there as crisp tonight as usual, because he's not used to playing this many minutes. Now, the Knicks are shorthanded. I got it. No Deuce, no OG, no Mitch. I get it. But if you are gunning to be the champ of the East, you should be able to figure out how to win a game like this, especially at home. This is a bad loss. There's no other way to explain this. It's a bad loss. Very bad loss. So I told you, Knicks minutes tonight with the game down Turnpike in less than 24 hours. So I just went through this whole thing for you. That's not what I wanted to show you. It was this. Here we go. Oh, no. It was this. Here we go.
Down the stretch there, what happened there in crunch time?
Left a lot of shots short. Got the looks we wanted. Offensively, it wasn't the problem tonight. I think, obviously, defensively, they had a rhythm early, and they kept their confidence, kept the rhythm throughout the entire game.
What is it about the Pacers and the Knicks when they play each other? It just can't be a regular game. This felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what the record is, I mean, they're great. Great coach. They do everything well. They play hard. They play to the last second. So those qualities that they have, enable them to play every single night, regardless of what the record is.
No OG, no Mitch. Just where did you guys need to do defensively with them out that didn't happen?
Just be a little bit more physical. They were in the rhythm. Pick our intensity on the ball with their physicality and stuff like that. And off ball, I just feel like they're moving really freely tonight. And then, like I said, they were in the rhythm all night.
Look, I hear you guys saying, pass the ball, cap, and all that. Totally right. Totally right. But that's not why we lost. I mean, we scored 121 points in regulation and 134 in overtime. I mean, our offense wasn't the issue. It was the defense. That was the real issue. But you're right. If he hadn't hero balled so much, he missed shots late in the game that, there were probably most likely there were better looks, better opportunities out there. And so for sure, there was an issue. But it was tonight's loss is on the defense. I mean, make no mistake about it. Tonight's loss is on the defense. I have this 89. This is completely wrong. I never updated the score right there. So ignore that at the bottom. The final score was 137 to 134. This is the final score. But Brunson, he did what he could do, but maybe he attempted to do too much. He delivered a 40-burger tonight, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. He did shoot. I don't know if his efficiency was all that great. Actually, it wasn't from the 3-point line. And then only hit 6 of 8 from the free throw line. Inside the arc, he definitely feasted. We went through that already. Cat fouls out. You can't foul out anymore, bro. We need your fucking giant fucking feet and ass in this game. No more fouling out, Karl Anthony Towns. Wake the fuck up with your fouling. I know you're frustrated as fuck because you don't get the calls. But doesn't matter. Do you want to win the game? What is more important? Stay in the game. Tonight, 22 points, 8 of 17. Only 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. And his 3, when he hit it, really was meaningful at the moment. 14 rebounds, so another double-double. 3 assists, 5 turnovers, and he fouled out in OT. But it was early OT when he fouled out. But he did finish a +6. Let's listen to Pascal talk about this game at the end.
Pascal struck me during the fourth quarter at one point. I saw Andrew Nembhard and Aaron Nesmith jumping on each other going into a timeout, and it felt like it was a May game against the New York Knicks. Could you describe the atmosphere you felt in this building tonight?
I mean, obviously it's always good to play here, so fun game against a really good team, so we just continue to fight no matter what. They have great players, obviously, but we just stay together.
Had to be a little disappointed to go to overtime, but you score the first 9 in overtime. So how did everybody regroup at that point?
Yeah, no, we played well. We got some easy buckets. We was able to get stops. I got to be better at the free throw line, finish the game off, but I thought everyone played well.
Quentin Jackson makes a big 3, then he makes those free throws, and after he made that 3, you looked right at him. How good do you feel for him? Because in the playoffs, he was in street clothes.
Yeah, no, for sure. I always on him, just let it fly. He's a shooter, so you got to let it go. I think sometimes, he thinks about it a little bit too much, so that was me just telling him, just let it fly,
All season long, we've talked to other coaches. They've credited you for how you've been available, how hard you've played. What kind of example have you tried to set for your teammates this entire season?
Just trying to be resilient, trying to show, what the standard is for us as a team, and just fighting for the guys. No matter how hard the season has been, this is a blessing. You know, we get to play ball, and we go out there every day and opportunity to compete and get better.
You're in the right to go celebrate in there, correct?
You think?
Major missed opportunity. Mohamed Diawara should have been the guy in crunch time guarding him. I know I said that earlier, but now even listening to that, I feel that more so. One of the most secondary, like, obviously doing everything you can to win a championship this season is the primary goal. And all decisions should be geared towards that goal. But you also need to be able to fold in development goals. And Mohamed Diawara has shown us already, like, none of us Knicks fans need more convincing. We've seen it. This he turned 19, like, after the draft. After we had drafted him, he turned 19. He's 20 years old. He is giving us, like, he's showing us that he has the potential to be that guy right there. Maybe even a higher ceiling, honestly, offensively. Because Pascal didn't shoot the three. He doesn't actually have as good a shooting touch as Diawara has now. So imagine how this could trend up. And Mike Brown fumbled the ball. And he should have had Diawara in there late to guard him. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. I tweeted this out. I would have liked to have seen Diawara on Siakam on that last possession instead of Hart. Too much size for Josh to deal with. And then Ariel Hukporti, he ain't doing a job. At one point, he just got blown by Neesmith late in the game for an easy 2 to give the Pacers a 117-130 lead with 3 minutes left in the game. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight on a loss. Just wanted to go live and share my thoughts and feelings about this. I appreciate you guys rolling up for this, and I love what's going on in the chat here. It's a great discussion. I've been looking at it. Shout out to Lex the Destroyer, best mod around. We got Damien in the house. We got Ex-Conscience in the house. We got Prince. I saw there was a Pistons troll. You're welcome. Welcome to come in. Welcome to come in. Hey, look. Just know, we sent you home last year. Nothing's happened so far means shit. Only that means anything is the playoffs. Does the season give you a little feel for things? Well, of what might happen, transpire in the playoffs? Honestly, recently, from what we've seen with the three-point shot and the amount of coverage, court coverage players have to do nowadays, there's too much high variance to believe that what you see in the regular season will be replicated in the postseason. In fact, it's we've seen that it's the opposite. So don't get comfortable, Detroit Pistons fans. Don't get comfortable, or you may end up with a lot of heartbreak by, mid-May. Mid-May. Because all that matters is what happens in the playoffs, and the Knicks are a playoff team. Who else we got? We got Zach, NY2LA. He says, George, this was bad coaching, terrible. Yeah, it was. I called that out earlier. I don't know if you were here for that. I called it out earlier. I thought this was not a good Mike Brown game. I think also not having his go-to guys. Think about this, though. Think about this. Think about who we're missing. Deuce McBride, easily our best defending guard, right? OG Anunoby, easily our best defending wing and overall best defending player on the team. And then Mitch Robinson, our best defending 5. So we were definitely compromised defensively, but that is not an excuse. That means the other guy should have stepped up And they did not tonight. They failed. Tonight was a big-time fail defensively for the players that took the court at Emma Street tonight. They allowed 134 points in 53 minutes of play. That's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Crazy. All right. I think we're going to call it. This game doesn't deserve much more to be discussed about it. Knicks have to travel down the turnpike down to Philadelphia. I'm sure they're going tonight. Probably getting on a bus. Going tonight. They're going to be in a hotel room. I hope they get a good night's sleep and they wake up hungry. Hungry like a pack of hyenas. And come out and destroy the Philadelphia 76ers on their home court the last game before the All-Star break. That's the only thing they should be thinking about. Complete domination tomorrow night. And we're going to have Mitch back. And we know Embiid's shenanigans against Mitch. He's going to try to do everything he can to get Mitch out of the game. And honestly, if that happens, someone's got to come out and fucking just flatten Embiid if he tries to do some shenanigans on Mitch. It's time for New York to step up and get tough. This is it. 29 games left. All right. Thank you for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments, especially if you're watching this later on. Drop your comments. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for rolling up here with me tonight. New York Knicks lost. Now they're in third place. But it's a long way to go. A long way to go. We will get there. I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. Come on, New York. Let's step up.